I just have an issue I wanted to bring up that
Yes,
just
ma'am.
came to my attention today. The White House indicated today we'd have an open rule on the ACA repeal bill. And Mr. Spicer said every member of the House and Senate will be able to have their opportunity to have amendments offered well through the committee process and on the floor. We are very excited to hear this news because he said every member would, so that translates to an open rule. It might be the first we've had.
Will the gentlelady yield
I'd
for a
be happy
moment?
to.
Well, we actually, in the Education and Workforce Committee did today, Mr. Byrne was there. I tried to offer several amendments to the Affordable Care Act, one to add a public option, another that would allow for reimportation of prescription drugs, a number of things to reduce costs. And would you believe it, they actually ruled me out of order. And the point of order was given by the chair. I appealed that point of order, but there was actually a party line vote where the amendment was shut down completely by the Republicans in that committee. So there was not the opportunity to amend that bill, at least in my committee, and I yield
Do you
back.
suppose that they had not heard from Mr. Spicer?
I don't know. I don't know if they heard from the president or what, but they certainly didn't allow these amendments to even receive a vote.
I think I'm absolutely, let
I
me.
think these are very relevant questions, not only of the intent of the White House to discuss the bill, but what I would ask is, in the committee you're in, what jurisdictional elements did they have?
One of the three committees of jurisdiction over the Affordable Care Act.
So that the hearing was about the Affordable Care Act.
Well, so
Was it a markup?
when the Democrats, yes, it was a markup. When the Democrats were in the majority in 2009, the Education and Workforce Committee was given instructions under reconciliation. For whatever reason this time around, the Republican leadership has effectively cut that committee out of the reconciliation piece
Right.
of the Affordable Care Act. So we marked up three health care bills. I voted against them all. One of them was that genetic discrimination one we talked about earlier. But we were left out of the reconciliation instructions for the bill.
Thank you very much. I thank the gentleman for entertaining me with the question.
Mr. Chairman, given the schedule I'm hearing from the Energy and Commerce Committee and the Ways and Means Committee, I'm just not crying crocodile tears that our committee is not included in the reconciliation bill.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
under your definition of every member, would Democrats be included in that?
I'm sorry, my definition?
Well, I mean, in the Rules Committee, I mean,
Well, let me ask you this. Are we in reference to what the press secretary?
yeah, the press secretary said that,
That is in an entirely different article of the Constitution. I appreciate him providing this.
I just
data.
assume you work closely with the White House because you're
Well,
close to this president. And
as a matter of fact, I do, but we
Yeah,
have not
well.
consulted on the matter of the rules.
So would you be saying that the press secretary was wrong in making the declaration that we would essentially have an open rule?
You know what? I will just point blank say that I would encourage Mr. Spicer, if he thinks he's going to start talking about my business, give me a darn call.
I guess
I'll
that's
pass that
a-
on.
I try not to get in his
Okay.
business, and I don't appreciate him getting in my business.
You've
that
been
enough?
at yours longer than he's been at his.
Well, no, I'm just
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
he can be in his lane, and I can be
Yeah.
in my lane, but he's in my lane now.
We know there's a learning curve.
Well, there might be, but you would expect me to
That
say
has
what
come
I
to our
said.
attention, has it
You
not?
would expect me to
Gentlemen,
say that. I did not pre-clear that, and he didn't call me. I'm sure it's a good question for him, but I'm just saying, if he's gonna be talking about the Rules Committee, you ought to call up and ask
Well,
us.
actually, it said every committee,
Oh, okay.
each and every committee,
No,
and
he
on
said
the
on the
floor.
floor. He
And
said on the floor.
No, he said, have their opportunity to amendments offered well through the committee process and on the floor.
Well, I appreciate him.
He's-
Sean and I,
okay.
I've known Sean and his parents. I think he's from Rhode Island. Fine young man. And I think he's an awesome guy. Served the United States Navy. He's really a fine guy. So in no
Okay.
way am I trying to dismiss my friend. I just wish he'd call me and talk to me if he wants to do these things. Fair game? Fair to me. Gentlemen,
I'd also like to congratulate our chair. I think the official name of the Republican replacement for the Affordable Care Act is the name that our very own chairman has been championing, the world's greatest health care bill. And so while the content of the bill is somewhat different, some of those ideas are contained in it, but I understand that that name is the official name of the bill. So
I did not know that.
I saw that.
It should be.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be healthcare for everybody at lower prices.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, I'll double check, but that's what
That's
I
it,
thought I read. So I thought you would know, but I'll double check that.
You know what I think happened? I think somebody figured out in the press that I dropped my bill. We dropped it last June, we dropped it again a couple weeks ago, and I think somebody just figured it out. So, they want to pronounce it that way, but I in no way believe that that is what we're necessarily doing.
Expect any more meetings this week?
You know what? That's a good question. The answer is, no, ma'am, I do not.
That's good.
That means that we have done our work for the week, except for what we've got to do. Well, go lobby the Senate. We've now completed our work up here. The floor is next. Thank you very much. Anything further from any of our members on the Republican side? Thank you very much.